What up, you guys? Still decluttering, but I compiled my comic books that I read and reread all the time. Basically the well that gives me energy and creative fuel, and I want to show it off. So the way I broke it up is that the first two tiers are my to read pile that has a lot of books and comics as well. The bottom two are the graphic novels that I read and reread. Some of the other stuff that I like to read and reread a lot, actually I don't have it here yet, but that's because I haven't gotten to that portion of the house to clean, which is basically all my Judge Dredd comics, as well as my Punisher comics, as well as anything by Scotty Young is another one that I always go back to his creations. And the way I kind of break up the stuff that I read is on three factors. One is it constructive to the art, meaning does it help me kind of understand how to draw certain things? Another one is, does it help me narratively, right? Is there something that they're doing with their cadences or with their story structure that really gets my creative juices flowing? And then the third is it fun? Because that's one of the things that we don't talk about enough, is that you got to maintain the fire to want to make stuff. You know what I mean? Because if not, it fizzles out, it burns out. I'm always reading and rereading certain things, and like I said, some of it is for how did they draw that, some of it is how did they tell you that, and some of it is, good Lord, that's a good time. So let me show you guys these comics. So here we have it, you guys. This is some of the stuff that I always continuously go back to. This is the first top tier. We're gonna have Bizarro. This is probably one of my favorite just because of all the different cartoonists that are in here. My older brother sent me this and have definitely gone back to this many times, and a lot of this is just more for reference, just to see different art styles and different creators and artists and their renditions of popular characters. So I definitely like this one a lot. I go back to this once again all the time. Maggie the Mechanic, Jaime Hernandez. This one is more instructional. The stories are not bad, but I use this more as like a reference to just like how do you draw buildings, getting better anatomy and things like that. This is something that my wife picked up. It's from her collection, but I've gone through it too many times already. V for Vendetta, Alan Moore and David Lloyd. This is one of my favorite comics to read. You know, some of the comics that are in my like forever to read pile is also just things that I find to be fun, and V for Vendetta is definitely one of those that it's a fun comic for me to read and reread, and the themes and concepts is something that just makes me want to make comics, and it makes me want to delve more into like philosophical questions. Like V for Vendetta is highly philosophical. The themes and topics are stories that relate more to revolution and concepts around it, as well as concepts of heroes and hero worship, and it makes it a very interesting comic. After that, you know, you gotta have the Kirby's. So I got the Essential Fantastic Fours Volume 1, 2, and 3. This is for many reasons. This is because I just like this kind of pulpy sci-fi that comes out of the Fantastic Four, but it's also because, well, shit, if you're trying to figure anything out, you look at some Jack Kirby art and you'll figure it out. And this black and white kind of ink, I think definitely helps you understand more of the line work and kind of like what they're doing. So these Marvel Essentials were hella tight. Patience, anything by Daniel Klaus is something that I love to read. And this is by far one of my favorite books to read. It's really romantic and the art is amazing. So Patience is something that I'm continuously going back to ever since I got it. So this is the bottom one. On the bottom one we have some Sin City from Frank Miller. This is for narrative reasons as well as just for fun. Like, this is some of the stuff I can always reread. The Ninja Turtles, the Ultimate Collection, Volume 2, 3, 4, and 5. Number 1 I have out right now. That one as well. This kind of Ninja Turtle stuff is more for fun, but as well some of it is very constructive. I love the fight scenes in here. I think that's some of the stuff that I keep going back to right now that I'm working on Punch Drunk Zen. Then we got Calvin and Hobbes. You guys know I'm a big fan of Bill Watterson. Calvin and Hobbes is the stuff. My Calvin and Hobbes comics that I got from Scholastic Books when I was a kid. A bunch of Love is Hell. Matt Groening is another one that's one of my favorites. The Big Book of Hell, Matt Groening. Work is Hell, Matt Groening. The Death Ray, Daniel Klaus. Another one that, like I said, anything by Daniel Klaus I like to read more for the story and more for the way he thinks. And then you know you gotta have some Crumb in there. Crumb is one of those that the way he draws things and brings it to life, the way he kind of like renders it is real interesting. Well, there you have it, you guys. Like I said, a lot of that stuff is I return to all the time. Like that stuff lives on my reading pile. And like I said, the floppies, my Judge Dredd and my Punishers are some other comics, as well as anything by Scotty Young that I have, like my Wizard of Oz, the I Hate Fairyland, Bully Wars, and a few other items that I have that he's made. And his stuff is a lot as well, just because of the way he does his art that really speaks to me. It's fun as well as instructive narratively for me. And the Punisher and Dredd, like I said with the Fantastic Four, my Dredd comics is because I just really love pulpy sci-fi. And if you never read the 2000 AD Judge Dredd comics, you don't get more pulpy and sci-fi than that. It's really good read. And my Punisher character as well is one of my favorite characters. Definitely enjoy reading that first run, and I almost have the complete run, so it's something that I periodically will read and reread. Just because why not? It's one of those things of like I can pull a single issue out of a Punisher stack and just read it. But alright, you guys, what's in your continuous reading pile? What do you read that gives you energy? I'm wondering. Even though I'm downsizing, I'm always reading. So if you guys got some good shit that you're like, Rich, put this on your coffee table. This shit is going to be one of those that you're going to add to this list. Put it in the show notes. Let me peep it out. I am trying to buy more online books, so it wouldn't hurt. Alright, thank you guys so much for watching. See you guys next time. Lights!